Alright, today I wanted to make kind of an informative video. I say an informative video. But what I wanted to do is super apologize for the last video here. I wasn't getting a lot of views, and I was just not having a really great week, and today was no better. But, actually today was better, because my neighbor helped me fix my irrigation system that's been broken for a number of years, and we found a huge break in the pipe that got damaged during like a massive ice storm or something. I don't remember exactly when it broke or how it broke, but it was just crazy. Water was squirting out everywhere, and after I said, hey, what's this thing here? And then I guess a tree had kind of leaned and the pipe was all smushed in between roots and stuff like that, so we just capped it off and good to go. So that was a positive thing for the week here, and I want to share with you some of my collections. Now first I want to do a little bit of movies here. I wanted to show you how I've been storing my movies here. This is an idea I got from several people, including my uncle here. And these are vinyl pages. I'm not sure you can still get these, but these are Disc Store. You might be able to find, old stock on eBay. www.discstore.com is what originally sold these, and these are for storing your DVDs. Now, a lot of people really don't like the fact that their media is taking up a crazy amount of room. So a lot of people are bindering their DVDs and Blu-rays and then dumping the cases. And in fact, what I did with my cases, I usually took them to the library, and they told me that they could use them for replacements and that sort of thing, and I made sure they were all fresh and clean. But I took a whole bunch of those and a bunch of stuff down to the end of the driveway and dumped it, and it was gone within an hour. Not to forget, but a lot of the vinyl records that I couldn't sell for $1, I just threw them in that box there and they were taken. So somebody's going to be happy with whatever I took because it was all free, and they can put it at the garage sale or throw it away or do whatever they want with it. But I'm happy they're gone. That's what I don't need to get money out of these things. The only reason I was trying to get money out of stuff like that is because I was needing to upgrade and purchase some other things. That's part of the reason why I'm making this video here. I have another binder. So this is Sherlock, and one of these is season 1 and the other one is season 4. I don't remember which one where it's in here. This is disc 1. Is this season? Let's see what we got here. So this is probably, let's see, I don't know. We got 2 different sets here. So that's how I store those. You put the artwork up here, disc here, and a lot of these things come as a double disc set here, like both of these did here. So then you can double back that. I don't know what this pocket is for here. Some sort of carded information if you need to write any notes there. But I will say that as many DVDs I have bindered, or were already bindered before me, the binders take up a crazy amount of space. But I do believe that it takes up a lot less space than having them all in those hard cases. So that's something to think about, but it's not necessarily cheap to do. There are other people that make those pages. And then I wanted to show you one other binder if I can get to it here before I get to the main part of the video. And everybody's still struggling with sinus issues around here, so if I sound kind of off, somebody kind of made fun of me yesterday for, I say fun, but they kind of said, hey, it's not pronounced this way. But this is my comedy binder here, C-O-M-E-D-Y, and then I basically just used whatever stickers I could find on a sheet and did those letters there. They never come with enough, but you get the idea. This one was gifted me from somebody through YouTube here, and then there's Major League, and I want to say that I'm Mike Murphy from RTE. Just stuff that I've thrown in here that I haven't decided to get rid of yet. Canadian Bacon, John Candy, Rat Race, RV. So there's some really common titles in here. I think I paid somebody, $1 at a garage sale for RV. K9, James Belushi. I'm not sure if I've ever gotten around to watching that one. And of course, Good Morning Vietnam, Robin Williams. A Very Brady Sequel, Be Kind, Rewind with Jack Black. I haven't watched that in a while, so I don't really know. Brady Bunch movie. I have the Very Brady Sequel somewhere around here, so that needs to go in here. I have plenty of opportunities to buy more movies. This was at one time a tough one to find. I caught the tail end of that movie on a TV station, and I said, I gotta find this, and I found it for $1, and I was like, oh, right, a $15 movie for $1. And then, some other mockumentaries that I found at Dollar Tree. Dumb and Dumber, I've had that DVD for a long time. Smokey and the Bandit, and Charlie Chan and the Curse of the Dragon Queen, along with Elvis and Blue Hawaii. So that stuff there, and these are all my free binders I get at the state surplus. Not everybody has one of those that will give away binders, but I wanted to share this. I want to say this is a Sterilite box, and I forget which Sterilite Keepers or something. I'm not sure who made this box here. I need to find more of them because this is the gist of the video here. I don't know if KUFO exists anymore in Portland or wherever it was from, Eugene or Portland. But the thing was is that maybe it was Eugene because I'm thinking of U of O. But anyway, this is my 45 collection. This is a part of it, and I would like to find more of these plastic totes here. Obviously, the lid would not be important to me because these 45 stick out here. And I got the idea to show these off because I was listening to some 80s music, and I said, I have this, or do I have this? Did I want the LP, and did I... A lot of these in the plastic sleeves here, over here, were ones that I sourced many, many years ago. I was at one of these Goodwill Bins outlet type stores, and there was a bunch of 45s, and I can't remember if back then they were 50 cents or something like that. And I said, and then I saw all these 80s artists, but I noticed that they were printed in Germany or something, made in Germany, and I started grabbing them. I thought I had grabbed all of them, but they started to do the rotation, taking things away, and I grabbed as many as I could, and I'm super happy that I did. And then I have another box here. I'll get to this one in a second here. I don't want to make it a crazy ton long video. And then this one just happens to be a kid's box. And again, at the time, I didn't have access to boxes, so you know, because the vinyl revolution hadn't happened. So I just think it's funny. It's some sort of kid's box without the lid, craft box or whatever used for 45. So I won't show you any of these in here. Excuse me, because a lot of them are artists would not even register, or I don't even, if I listen to them a number of times, I will remember who they are. I just finished dinner like half an hour ago, and I'm still kind of, excuse me. So I don't want to knock this over. And I just decorate this with whatever stickers I can find, usually skateboard stickers or something, you know, rock stickers. And of course, Foghorn Leghorn is on the other side there. And I get to this here, and I'm going to pick out some of these just to show you the kind of things that I like to collect here. And I like picture sleeves. I like picture discs, unlike other people who don't. And there's some very unusual ones in here. Let's see if I can get to, probably show you most of my 80s collection here. I have everything you can even think of. Now, I don't have a lot of like I would say the hard rock, but a lot of the glam rock from the 80s like Def Leppard and Bon Jovi. I don't have tons of those, and a lot of them do not have the covers here. Let's see if I can pull out a few more here. There's maybe another one. These used to be in organized you know, sort of here. Some of these I've shown on YouTube years ago. Let's just go to, one of these is a Record Store Day release here, and I picked that up because it was one of the cheapest things, and I found it on Discogs for nothing. This is Larry Mullins and Mike Watt, TVI. It was okay. Einbahnstrasse for those people who are German speakers. It looks like a large B, but that's two S's, so that's Strasse. So people don't know what that is. This one here I special ordered many, many years ago. The epoxies were all clones, and that's, you know, Alice Cooper's, a redo of Alice Cooper's Clones, Roxy Epoxy, and it's on this limited edition green vinyl here, and it's got synthesized. Man, they were just so Portland back in the day, but they've moved on and done other things, and I kind of miss them. They were just really awesome because they were bringing back the retro, you know, 80s synthesized type stuff there. I don't know much about the Mother Hips, but again, that was one that I found. I was like, that's kind of cool. It's meant to look old, but it's not old. Then we go to a few other things here. This is Culture Club. Karma Chameleon. I remember that from the A-Team. I'm not a huge, Boy George fan, but back then he was like one of the biggest pop stars from England on the planet, next to Elton John. Then we got a-ha, The Sun Always Shines on TV. That's one kind of forget. Sadly, a lot of these groups like Culture Club, a-ha, and other people get thrown in these one-hit wonder lists, and that also made me make this video. This is a very unusual song, but you will know it. It's a song by the Communards, For a Friend. It's just very unusual, very high-pitched singing. It's not something that I should like, but somehow I ended up doing. Again, this is part of this German collection here. There's Hubert K. I think that's who that is, or is that right? How do I pronounce that? I'm going to listen to this. Wenn der Mundi. Oh, I can't read that there. It's kind of a very unusual font there. But anyway, it's it's auf Deutsch, so. And then we have Du Ragazza in Me, Giovanni Nannini, and I think that came from that collection there. Then we have, this one here is Heaven on Earth, and this is an Angel's Wing. I gotta remember what this one is here, but it's got a nice cover there. Then we have Laura Branigan, R.I.P., Self-Control. I liked everything she did. Some people call her a one-hit wonder because she did Gloria, I believe, and a few other things, but she had all kinds of hits there, and she just died. This is the one I wanted to show you here. Ergendavi, Ergendavo, Ergendavon, and that's Nena. And again, I was so mad that they called her a one-hit wonder. She's still touring and doing all kinds of stuff. Yes, I understand there was a few albums that she did, but, in Germany, she's not a one-hit wonder. Globally, she's not a one-hit wonder. And I want to show you what the vinyl looks like in this one here. And then you can see there's a little bit of playware there. That's my fault there, and it's got a little spindle there. Stereo CBS. I think this is a German pressing or something like that, overseas pressing. That's my guess here. There's so many versions of, Ergenda V and Kino and 99 Luftballons. So there's that one there, and again, I might pick up some of these other releases, and a lot of this Nena stuff isn't super expensive. It won't break the bank, but then every once in a while, like, oh crud, so what was going on here? The Corgis, everybody's got to learn sometime, and again, this is a cool one here because this is late 70s, I want to say, so it's right on the edge of, that kind of a. And then this one I saw somewhere, or at least I thought I did, a Red Ryder. I don't remember why I saw a Red Ryder somewhere and I didn't grab it. I'm not sure. There's one that I'm looking for that I can't remember the tune to. It was on a, and I don't know. I don't know where that, I lost a VCR tape that had some old music on it, so I got to figure out which one that was. And then there's Don Johnson, kind of, that would be a one-hit wonder, Don Johnson. Knew him. And then we got Lisa Hartman, again, probably another, what we would call one-hit wonder, these actors and actresses sort of thing. And there's another Lisa Hartman. Again, I grabbed these things because I want to say that I got these at the old Ranch Records here, and I just said, you know what, that's just massively 80s, that's really awesome. Just for the cover alone I get those, and I thought that was really neat here. I like E.G. Daily. This almost looks like Bingo the Dog or something like that, or some sort of, I forget what movie. Oh no, it's Summer School with Mark Harmon. See, Mark Harmon is on the back there, so I thought kind of fun. Mind Over Matter. I like E.G. Daily. She was also in Fame, if you couldn't believe it or not. I think she played a student at Fame. I thought that's kind of cool. She doesn't sound like much. She just sounds like a squeaky kid. And then this one, I believe, I got at the Ranch Records there, and I just thought that was awesome. I left the Ranch Records sticker on there, $6.75, but it was much cheaper. It was on their wall, and I said, I gotta have that. Iggy Pop, Real Wild One. You'll know that one. That's just a really awesome one there. And then I didn't know who the city was, but I grabbed that one and again, these were $1 at one point, and I said I have to have that, and whoever's collection was did a really good job of curating it. And then there's another city, Planets in Motion. I gotta double check that one. This one here, became one of my favorite songs. I just didn't know who they were. It was originally $2 at some point, and I got it for $1. Big Bamboo, Shooting from My Heart. They just have kind of like a rockabilly look to them. And they're not really rockabilly, but I just thought that was cool. I know a guy that kind of looks like that. Not exactly like that, a little more polished, but I just think it's kind of funny. One of my friends kind of looks like that. These guys are from England, I believe, or somewhere over the other seas there. But I just like Shooting from My Heart. They're technically, I guess, a one-hit wonder. A lot of it, so there's that one there. We're almost at 15 minutes. We got the Dream Academy. I guess that's a Lesson of Love. Again, if I haven't listened to these for a long time, I won't remember them. And we got, of course, the usual suspects here. These are things like, that's just a generic epic sleeve. Gary Merrick and the Figures, and She Talks in Stereo, and I believe that's all they did. Now, there's a bunch of little black crud that got in here. I don't know what that, all that little black stuff that got in there. It might have been when I was transferring this or moving this, but you see, the sleeves are not particularly mint here. But that, when I was able to find any kind of 45 sleeve at one point, I just got it. I just made sure it got put in a sleeve there. For whatever reason, there's little dead bugs or something that got in that one, so that's not cool. Then we have Go West, Don't Look Down, the sequel. Again, I just grabbed anything that screamed 80s or 90s. Anything. As long as it was cheap, it was $1 or whatever, 50 cents, I had to have it. Then we have a Boom Child, Dennis DeYoung. I really like that one. Really, really like that one. I think it's cool with the Viewmaster shot. Yeah, Boom Child, Dennis DeYoung. Check that one out there. That's neat. Then we have everybody's favorite, Tiffany. And I collected a lot of Tiffany stuff. It doesn't have a ton of value because there's lots out there. But again, this stuff is way undervalued right now. Some of these young kids would love to have that hanging on their wall. It doesn't take up a crazy amount of room, and you could double the amount of 45s on your wall just by decorating. You don't need to buy the whole LP. It was all about the 45s back then, you know what I mean? Here's Huey Lewis and the News, Heart and Soul, and it's just empty. I have a ton of empty sleeves there because I thought I would match them up, but I can't bring my master list to the store and it'd be too crazy. And then, of course, we have Glass Tiger, Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone. That's kind of a forgotten hit there. But then when you listen to it, it's like, oh my gosh, that one. We're down to a few more here. We have Heaven 17, and this one has Contenders and Diary of a Contender. Heaven 17, they did, I can't think of it right now. The Fix did Saved by Zero, but I forget what Heaven 17, it might be this one here. Again, Ranch Records, $1. And again, anything that was kind of like, I want to say alternative for the time, but kind of like electronic, groups, whatever, synth groups or whatever, I had to grab those. And then, of course, we got everybody's favorite, the Knack, My Sharona. Really cool to have that one there. My Sharona, and then Let Me Out. I don't know that one. The Knack, they are one-hit wonders. And you would think that they've done crazy other stuff, and they may have, but My Sharona is one of those that is kind of up there with, Breakfast, Supertramp Breakfast in America, and the old stupid Fleetwood Mac, Rumors sort of thing. We'll go through a few others from the other box here. Actually, we'll grab some from the same box, and we'll finish up here. I want to make a nice 20-minute video here. Like I said, I apologize for being kind of poor in the other video, but, again, I don't have a lot of stuff going on sometimes. I have a lot of, I had actually zero mail. I threw an autograph request in the box, and there's a few more other ones we can play around with here. These are these old-timey things here, so we don't need to bother with those. This one here is some sort of, I don't know. Some of these are super rare, but I don't take these to the swap meet because it doesn't matter if this is a 45-cent 45 or a 450. It could be thousands of dollars, and people are like this. Yeah, that's great. So wrong crowd. We have another Culture Club. I'll tumble for you. I don't know why I grabbed it, but I think it was probably a Goodwill type store type deal there. We have Steppin' Out, Joe Jackson. So that's his big hit, Steppin' Out. And then we have Wang Chung, one of my favorites. It's got Let's Go on here. That's what it says. This one originally came from Streetlight. I don't know where that would have been. That was $1 at Streetlight. Let's Go, Wang Chung, and The World in Which We Live. I think that one, I might know that one there. And then we've got a nice one here. This is Tommy James. and probably the Shondells bits and pieces, and on the other side is Dragging the Line, Tommy James. But you see, it's nice because it's a roulette with a roulette cover. Not they all come like this, but I was able to match some of those up years later. So I don't know, a big collection. Trying to get things organized. I haven't bought any 45s in a very long time because I'm down to just a very tiny specific amount of stuff here, and or 7 inches is what they might call them as well. So I'm just down to a very dinky little specific list here of things I might physically want. I'm more of an LP type of person right now, and I just want to get all of that put back in the box so I don't have a crazy mess. Didn't get to show you everything I wanted because that would be an hours and hours long video, but at least I get to reduce, reuse, recycle, and thank you for watching.